Here in Nujiang, back in the days of the zip lines, where crossing the river was such a tough challenge that many kids wouldn't go to school until they turned 13 or 14. They didn't know how to write a single word, and that created many social problems. This school was specially set up for these young people. Since the start of the nationwide poverty alleviation project, a survey found that in the Nujiang Lisu Autonomous Prefecture in Yunnan Province, more than 1,000 young people dropped out of school. If the problem were left unattended, it could have led to another generation of poverty. In 2019, a boarding school was set up for these youngsters from the mountainous regions to go back to school. Education has always been free, but if you didn't want to go to school, no one could force you. But under the Targeted Poverty Alleviation Plan, it's made clear that every child must receive education. So when the school year started, the headmaster and teachers knocked on every door in every mountain village to convince parents to let their kids to go to school. "14-year-old Fu Pinglin was persuaded to attend school. He looks so much like Nicholas Day. You used to live so far away in the mountain area?"
This one. We had to climb the highest mountain and walk the longest distance to his home to get him here.
They don't get a chance for education?
They had to grow up at a young age to look after the family and work on the farm.
For the villagers, losing one person means one less pair of hands on the farm.
So we kept talking to the parents to persuade them to send their kids to school. The most unforgettable moment was when we started climbing at noon and reached the students' home at 6 p.m.
You went all the way just to get one child to school?
Yes.
Half a year just to get 300 students to start school. And it wasn't easy at the beginning. The students would often climb the wall, and I'm not talking about the internet firewall. They really did climb over the wall to run away from school. You jumped over the wall. You wanted to run away from school, huh?
I had no friends here. It was so boring, so I ran away.
When he first came, he really hated school. It's not easy to get him here. He would come and go in a second. He had a mobile phone. When his class teacher called to say, "Come back now," he would climb back in the next second. We had no idea where he went, but he's really awesome.
That's when that thing wasn't built.
Which do you mean? That blue thing?
Before this blue metal structure was built, students would climb out. Then we kept modifying and improving it.
They came from what's known as a direct transition ethnic group, meaning they came from an almost prehistoric society into a modern civilization without transition. They had no concept of time. If you asked them when they were born, they would say, "Oh, when it was raining," or "when there was thunder." They had no concept of when lunch is or when to go to school. Up until the 1950s, of the 55 ethnic minorities in the country, some were still living in a prehistoric world or leading a life of slavery. Since the founding of the PRC, they had to leap 1,000 years forward overnight. Yunnan is where most direct transition ethnic groups are found. Their problems are more complex than other impoverished people. They've led a simple life and have serious drug addiction and trafficking problems since they're next door to Myanmar and the Golden Triangle.
The school opened on September 10th, 2019. Students would go sunbathing outside. A few of them would lie prone, and some would be looking for fleas in their hair. We've seen it all. In the morning, they would brush their teeth or tidy up or sweep the floor. They ran around barefoot.
They didn't have that concept in the villages.
They're used to that. Then we told the headmaster, and he gave them shampoo and washing powder and soap, and we taught them to wash their hair, their clothes, and to bathe.
So you had to start from the very basics.
Yes, including drinking boiled water.
They didn't know?
Because they're used to drinking untreated water.
Learn to drink boiled water. Even teaching about drinking water. I saw some students with their hair dyed and their tattoos. I thought, are they from a triad? Here comes the discipline master.
要好好的打扮起来，学生的眉毛不需要画，衣服好好的穿起，你这个头发要把它变回来。我们中国人是黑头发，这个拖鞋不能穿，没带拖鞋，好不好？拖鞋是在家里面穿，你呢？短裤不能穿，就这个形象不好。你看，衣服要好好洗干净了，你就变成一个好同学了。
I've been a headmaster in 6 schools over the past 28 years. I've been in education for 40 years.
You have high standards for them. They're not allowed to wear blondish hair, right?
Yes, image is important.
They don't communicate. They run away when they see us. But we took the initiative when they're not willing to come to me. I'd hold their hand, put my arm around their shoulder. I'm not just a teacher, but their friend.
Hu Li Mei used to be a teacher in regular county schools. When she was sent to work in this special school, like other teachers, she found it was her biggest career challenge. Teaching them Putonghua and literature, is it especially hard?
Yes, indeed. Like with this boy. He hasn't been to school at all. He can't speak the language. He communicates with us in Lisu.
Lisu?
你叫什么名字？啊，狄世才。狄世才。
These teenagers are of extremely different levels. Some never had any education.
那以前在山区的时候有没有读书？所以是来这里才开始的。那会很难吗？你好，睇個樣就知道係難搞㗎啦，其實。
When he first came, he ignored almost every teacher. When we told the students to get out of bed, he's a classic case. He refused to get up, and the others in the dorm followed him.
喜欢上学吗？还可以。如果你不是来学校的话，来读书的话，你到外面会在做什么？
打工。
打工哦，做什么工？
包装。
包装的工。哇，你几岁
快17了。
14，
快17了。
快17。你可以估计，如果他们没有来
If they weren't here at school, if they stayed out there without education, what do you think they'd be like?
If they weren't here, it would be unimaginable. Their bad behavior might lead them to become thieves, robbers, committing crimes.
For these young people from the villages, academic subjects are way too hard. So the school focuses on vocational training, teaching them how to repair cars, to cook, they even offer hairstyling classes, hoping they can pick up some skills. Duan Ziwen teaches hairstyling. He also grew up in a village. He went to work in the city and then came back to teach. When you see these students, is it like seeing your old self?
Like when I was small, I didn't want to go to school and just wanted to play. If they went on like that, it would be hard for them to step into society. So I think you can play, but you must pick up some skills.
Back when they were in the mountains, how did their parents teach them?
Many parents would say, just forget about school. You won't learn anything. Just stay at home and work on the farm, or just find a job. Their parents never went to school, so they don't know that education can help you get rich. They only know hard labor can bring you riches. And the girls, they don't want them to get any education.
Just get married quickly.
Many girls over here are basically married off or sold, rather, not married off. They agree with people outside how much money.
There are cases like that?
Yes, many.
Even now?
Over here, yes, I heard this year they sold one for over 200,000 yuan.
How old was the girl?
Primary 6.
Still something like that.
The village secretary argued with the parents. The parents said, it's not your child, it's none of your business. Leave us alone. In the end, he had no choice but to sue the parents in court. That's how they got the child back.
So it is safer for the children to be in school where they can learn something.
It's safer for children to be at school.
After they are brought to the boarding school, it's a big task to adjust from the old lifestyle in the mountains to a whole new world. These young people tend to be rebellious. Will they be ready to cooperate with the school?
手手，差啦，差一場出去，唔好偷走啊，靚仔，老師唔俾啊。
In Nujiang, Yunnan province, near the Chinese border with Myanmar, poverty-stricken families used to earn just a few hundred yuan a month. Children never went to school, or they gave up after a while and went back to farming. 2 years ago, a special school was set up for young villagers previously deprived of education. But it's been a difficult and frustrating effort.
有没有想要逃学？有没有？
有一点点。
为什么？
不习惯这种
被管束，对不对？
对。
我看老师你好像真的教自己的。
It's like you're teaching your own children. Have you ever felt? How come you just don't understand?
One time a student came for his leave application. I said, you may not know how, but at least let me show you how to write this one. Just watch and follow. Then he threw down the pen and said, I'm not even writing this application for leave. I'll just go home, see what you can do.
These kids are not easy to handle.
But this is our duty. We are from the border region. I was born and bred here. If we didn't do it, who's going to?
I'm so touched. Hu Li Mei has great concern for ethnic minority girls. Their fate is never in their own hands, as males have always been the preferred gender.
Girls tend to get married early and give birth after they graduate. That's very common. We keep telling them girls can go out to work and make money and be dutiful to their parents and remember to keep some money for themselves. Find a man they really like and can count on.
"15-year-old Ahada is a Li Zhu. She's one of Hu Li Mei's favorite students. She loves the cooking class at school.
These dishes we're having this morning, they learned at the Chinese cookery class. She prepared this cold dish.
When they like the dishes, I'm especially happy.
Before, when I asked these girls what they plan to do after graduation, they smiled and said, "Get married. What else can we do?"
How long have you been here?
1 year.
Before you came to this school, what was your future plan?
In the past, I was thinking I'd just get married after graduation. Since I came here, I picked up cookery. The school has taught me many dishes. Now I really like cooking. I want to be a chef and open my own restaurant.
Open your own shop. Wow, that's awesome. You have to learn a lot of dishes. The teachers will teach you.
Yes.
Do you still want to get married?
Leave that till later.
Education is a chance to turn one's life around. Some students are moved by the teacher's persistence.
There is this little boy who wanted to buy a mobile phone, but he didn't have the money. And then his class teacher and I had a discussion. We told him, we will lend you the money. When you graduate, go get a job and pay us back. Then we lent him the money and he bought his favorite phone.
He must be so happy.
Yes. And then he said, teacher, once I start earning money, I'll pay my class teacher 100 yuan a month and pay you 50.
To the students, music teacher Yu Xiongpu is a big brother. Yu teaches them to play instruments, and the music tames their soul. Fu Jihua used to run away from school, but now he listens to his teachers.
Fu Jihua.
Fu Jihua. Which is your favorite subject?
Music.
The music class.
Yes.
Do you like school?
I don't. Study for what? I'm not used to this place. I would mess things up.
Make trouble.
Climb the wall and go outside.
He'd make trouble.
They all do that, climb outside to run away from school.
The teachers would always try to teach us, but we just wouldn't listen. Kept arguing and arguing.
And then?
Then I saw teacher Yu playing guitar. I thought I would be happy if I could play. I realized I couldn't go on like that. Then I realized
the teacher does understand you.
He understands me.
He knows.
I saw on Kuaishou app he made some short videos. He's done better than me.
Let me see.
Show her one.
Why don't you do that? Why are you so shy in front of our camera?
He's graduating in June this year and will leave the mountains. It'd be great if he can go to a technical school, broaden his horizons in the big city.
Yes, the teacher is right, okay? Keep studying after you graduate. Once an expert in escaping classes, Fu Pingling has acquired a new skill. How long has he been studying here?
Almost 2 years.
He has changed a lot.
A lot, indeed. He's picking up Chinese tea art.
Tea art?
Yes, we don't have a tea art room here. The government has one we can use. It's a distance from here. He goes there at 2 p.m. every day with his classmates, and they come back on their own. No escaping throughout the process. He brings everyone safely back to school.
That's awesome.
Yes, that's how he has changed.
I was really moved by one incident. It was in my office when he brewed some tea and presented it to me in my office and said, "Have some tea, headmaster."
To show your respect and appreciation, that tea was especially sweet.
Yes.
More and more students have changed.
你好，普及华就这个，就参加世界机器人大赛的那个，就这个。
真的？
哎，
你得奖了是不是？
对。
你告诉我
一步跨千年，再对，就这个。
你得什么奖？
我得了那个机器人爱德奖。
机器人。 喺呢度咧，佢哋學到咧係真係18般。
Here they picked up all sorts of different skills. There's always a big difference between city dwellers and rural people. It's a persistent barrier all over the world. Education is the only way out. If not for the teachers, they would probably still be living up in the mountains. Girls married off at a young age, working on the farms or even gone astray. Here they're having such a good time with the teachers who love them so much. I think it has opened up a new path in their lives. This is not just a job to you, right?
This is not just a job. I hope to at least see these girls not get married immediately after they graduate. All young people have dreams. After picking up skills here, they can go open a shop or find a job. We tell them by changing them, we hope to change the next generation and the generation after that. That's what we want most to see. We don't want their kids becoming jobless and without a chance for education. I don't want that.
After the success of the vocational school in Nujiang, similar schools have been set up all over the country. Massive publicity campaigns were carried out to make impoverished villages understand the importance of education. According to the Ministry of Education, at the end of 2020, the number of those deprived of education between age 6 and 15 fell from the hundreds of thousands a few years ago to just 1,000. Rural parents are now willing to send their children to school. And after they graduate, 100 million children receive free vocational training to pick up specialized skills as well, setting them up for a chance to succeed in the future.
我是来自四川省凉山州，贫穷嘛，偏僻嘛，
几乎就很少机会可以来到城里面读大学。
读书人是很少的。
说白了，我们整个团队里边有博士有硕士，可以帮助他们更上升一个平台，缩短跟城市之间的一个差距。
好 ，Hello， 我哋同香港朋友 say 個 hello。港女三色。